Salve, salve galerinha! Aqui trazendo mais vídeo pro canal. Galerinha, hoje nós vamos dar continuidade aqui nossas aventuras no Genshin Impact. E no vídeo de hoje a gente vai estar fazendo aqui, né, a missão do arconte. Sonhos, vazios e engano, né, como a Heroína Triunfante. A gente vai estar fazendo essa missão aqui. Espero que vocês gostem, deixe aquele like. Se inscreva no canal caso você não seja inscrito. Vídeo todos os dias, ative aí o sininho das notificações para você receber a notificação dos vídeos. E sem mais delongas aqui, vamos para o vídeo. Valeu! Tem muita gente que já aparece aqui perguntando o que é que precisa fazer para liberar as missões, etc. Geralmente, na parte de evento, quando tem alguma atualização, alguma coisa assim, o próprio jogo ele já informa, né, o que é que você precisa ter aí para poder participar dos eventos, do conteúdo novo que está sendo colocado no game. Mas aqui, geralmente nas missões do arconte, elas são progressistas. Ou seja, para vocês receberem, né, essa missão do arconte, vocês têm que ter feito previamente todas as missões anteriores. Então, é só vocês seguirem, né, fazendo as missões do arconte, que geralmente são as missões de história que fica aqui em cima. E vocês vão conseguir aí desbloquear ela. Tá.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the academia, even it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akash. Have you already caught the sages? I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they... In any case, I probably can't take over their mind. We're in the dark as of now, since we still don't know anything about their goals. After all, every person in some... No way, that you mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goal. That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Are we Nahida? You're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep... According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical... Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us... Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
Tem aquele carinha lá do Porto, né?
Oh, before coming back, we met
É ele mesmo.
He seems like he acts alone. Actually, I already have someone in mind. Sitaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeat. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she I've always liked observing all kinds. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the name Sitaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky soon after. The star witnessed the sun's course. The star began to waver, instead of staying beside such a sun. But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes. From the sound of it, Sitaria's just hung up on the research, but she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty. Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears. She's suppressing a lot of guilt. But before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. Right. We must somehow make her face her that way. Not only can we get useful intel from my past observation, tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. To prepare.
Ela vai sair para fazer as compras. Reúna informações. Ali.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune teller. No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now...
Hawking style and...
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fate? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed...
Huh? Really?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future.
It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps at some time in the past...
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those...
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Love prospects? The god, one who is fated to cross your path, will appear on... So many people will fall for you. How could that be? Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial...
Is that so? Well,
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they...
Is this another one of Sataria's?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved. When I start talking with him, listen carefully.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
we caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we...
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild?
Speaking of, where did you...
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use...
That's nice. You're making a living.
So is your father...
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired...
I see. We wish him peace. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia.
Nahida, you've...
It's my duty to protect Samari's...
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding.
Ah, that's right. I've always been real. After all, but I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the...
What an admirable spirit for...
Sure, but...
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Guess that makes sense.
Thank you so much.
So, was that everybody?
3 familiar faces should...
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way. I remember that you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of the Scarlet King. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft...
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You you want to take advantage. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
Well, the Scarlet King is long gone, and Sitaria is also too smart to... If we simply engaged her under the guise of the Scarlet King's believers, she would definitely be weary of us. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her,
So, you mean you're going to...
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply that they've already converted to the faith of the Scarlet King. And as long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sitaria for sure. She'll never guess...
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will...
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha tournament.
That is...
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never...
You're not wrong. It's always been painful.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred...
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over...
Alright.
Vamos lá, ela vai possuir a galera. Eu acho que a gente vai ter que conversar, né? Vamos ter que adiantar o horário aqui. Até que horas? 12. À tarde, o dia seguinte. Então hoje vai ser mais tempo. Vai até o mercado. A gente vai ter que meio que se passar pela galera, né? Ela vai possuir pessoal e a gente vai escolher as falas, eu acho. A mulher aí.
Here she comes. Sit down. Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintance, ask her how we'll sway her to our side. I'll leave that to you.
Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding...
Ixi.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me is a very different... are you still...
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about trouble.
Okay then. You just seem... strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they?
Oh, a gente vai ter que acertar as coisas.
Which fortune do you want me to read for you to...
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you...
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my
I hear you. No problem at all. The god...
Ixi, ele falava como os dois falaram.
The gods are asking, Sitaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone... home? To the gods?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the god. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's...
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all. The Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Even though news of the Scarlet King's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can the Scarlet King—
What insolence! I am the Scarlet King's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon... I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Oh, she just ran off in a...
Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss.
E não, viu ela dar uma olhada ali pro
To have
canto.
something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida.
All I know are some... Anyway, enough of...
Tá, próximo NPC.
Now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
A gente vai ter que lembrar o que aconteceu, né? Que o pai dele caiu da casa, quebrou, tá aposentado.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Construção.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port...
Yeah, he's been retired there for...
If you
Ah,
could
você
find
não
the
precisa dizer que
time,
ele tá
please
aposentado.
write him a letter. Please pass on that recently, faith in the Scarlet King has taken root in Port Ormos. He has a quick temper, and has always been a devout follower of the Danger Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with...
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or the Scarlet King? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray the Scarlet King, and now you spend all your time with those
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a...
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one...
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa. Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. But once everything is over, I'll...
Ok, falta o último, que é ali no...
Come on! Sataria's already started talking.
So, Shishan, have, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
É no porão.
Oh, right. Speaking of, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report...
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted...
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side.
Please stop!
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guard.
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matra right away. The situation in this...
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their...
Heretics? What kind of heresy are...
The Scarlet King! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's alone...
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
The Scarlet King is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's child of the Scarlet King. Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
A mulher vai ter treco.
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding... I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in this state, but no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct...
How do you know me so well?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to... If you could provide some assistance in this matter...
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about...
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, but I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff... I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified... However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even this...
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the...
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. Let me see... let's use the most primitive...
The Academia entrance.
Don't worry about that. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again.
Alright, I trust you.
So, if I were to
that'll depend on...
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the god of wisdom, maybe it's time for me to find a god...
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed the Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening...
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you?
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always...
Galerinha, o vídeo tá ficando grande, eu vou dar uma parada por aqui, nós vamos continuar no próximo vídeo. Espero que vocês tenham gostado dessa primeira parte aqui da missão do Arconte. Deixa aquele like, se inscreva no canal caso você não seja inscrito, o vídeo todos os dias, ative aí o sininho das notificações para você receber a notificação dos vídeos. E a gente se vê no próximo vídeo, valeu, falou e fui!